Hi, and welcome to episode number 15 of the Groomer Next Door, Take 4. I'm your co-host, Chris Green, and sitting next to me is the lovely and beautiful Sarah.
Hello.
And of course, sitting with us is Claire. Say hi, Claire.
Hi.
I say take 4 because we've had 4 attempts on this episode, and we're hoping that this is actually going to stick. So, anyways, we're going to jump right in. This is going to be episode 15 of the all-cat episode. This is the episode that was requested by our new friends at PCAL, and that stands for Phelps County Animal Welfare League. Kim and Glenda do a lot of great work. We were lucky enough to meet with them on Saturday at the Rolla Expo, Home and Business Expo.
Yeah, we got to meet the lovely ladies and got to see firsthand all their hard work, how much people interaction they have to have, and even though each person they meet might not want to adopt, it plants the seed that maybe in the future they'll consider adopting and seeing how PCAL can help them.
And it also, may not result in adoption or fostering, but it might, also result in donations to help the cause, to help keep the cause going. So, like always, great work by both of you. You do wonderful work, and it was absolute magic to be able to be part of everything on Saturday, and we definitely look forward to participating in more events. Also, of course, is our friend Carrie with Animal Love Pass the Word on Facebook. If you haven't been on Facebook and looked them up and like their page, please go on Animal Love Pass the Word. Carrie does a great job. We also participate by going on there, posting different things here and there.
It's great to go and look at their site because they try to help animals all over the U.S. and there might be a pet that's in need that's in your area. You might not be able to adopt, but there might be things you can help, like transport an animal from one location to another, pitching in a couple bucks to help for their spade or neutering, or their vaccinations. Every dollar counts. Every moment you spend, your time counts. I know there's quite a few people that don't have a lot of money to give, but they do have their time and effort when they can. And like I said, every little bit does help these folks.
And even if you're only volunteering your time is still worth a great deal. Everybody, and whether you're going to volunteer with PCAL, your local animal shelter, or whomever, that time actually is worth everything. So we're going to talk about feral cats, spay and neutering, different things that maybe you don't know about on this cat episode, and we will of course talk about grooming as well because we gotta keep the grooming part in it. So, anyways, with all that said, we actually just met a nice lady just a moment ago. She had heard about the expo, and we gave her information regarding what had transpired.
Yeah, she heard us talking into the microphone, recording something, and somebody didn't press pause, they pressed stop.
Hey, it's not my fault. I'm not used to having, actual live audience while doing this.
So we're actually getting a lot of people coming up to us. It's been not the first time someone's come up to us while we're recording.
Yeah, it's becoming a little bit more of a trend. It's also becoming a trend to get Facebook messages and emails. So please, everybody, don't feel like you're bothering us. I love getting your messages. Don't feel like you're telling us how to do this show, because you're the ones who listen to the show. We make this show available to you, and we want to hear what you have to say, because then we can give you the information. And if we don't have the information, we can find it. And of course, just to give you a quick update on episode 16, coming up this Friday, will be with our local K-9 unit police officer.
I am so excited.
We were just asked if we would be willing to actually participate in their YouTube and be on their Facebook over this. So that might actually happen. Stay tuned on that one. We'll let you know during the recording of the episode. There's a good chance that we'll be on their YouTube channel as well. So anyways, with all that said and done, let's get started. Let's start, of course, let's just go into the very beginning of it, and that's, of course, spay and neutering.
Yes.
We've had some experience. Now, I think I've had more cat experience over my life than you have.
Yeah, I was raised in a family that believed that cats were useless in a sense. The only cat I ever have known growing up, we named her Cheyenne. I just got done learning about American Native Indians.
I have to ask you the question. Did your dad name the cat?
No, I named it because we
Okay.
just got done reading about Native Americans, and I love the name Cheyenne.
I was thinking of the Western that your dad loved, and it was Cheyenne. Okay.
No, I think that's the reason why he allowed me to name the cat Cheyenne.
Oh, okay.
So
This all is starting to make sense to me, folks. So, 11
We were-
years with this girl, and I just learned something new.
we were driving to our new location that we were going to live. My parents ran storage facilities, and they had an apartment attached to the storage facility. It's not like we're living out of storage units. Some people get miscommunication, they don't quite
I
understand.
didn't live in the unit, I lived above the unit.
that. There you go.
Gotcha.
Anywho, the cat was curled up on my dad's neck and sleeping as we were driving. We were all making fun of my dad because my dad was not a cat person. So we just razzed him left and right. Well, the cat woke up and something happened. The cat peed all over the side of my dad's face and his neck, down his shirt. And his first reaction when something's just projectile liquid is to remove whatever is doing it out of the way. And by doing that at a stop sign nonetheless, the cat kind of took a trip outside.
Oh.
So my dad feeling bad, we all jump out of this U-Haul and we're running around trying to find Cheyenne. Oh my gosh, we looked for hours. My dad had to postpone a meeting with somebody because he felt so bad that he would make sure that he was trying to find Cheyenne.
This does have a happy ending, correct?
Not really.
Oh, sorry for all of you happily ever after fans.
But I guess the one thing that came out of this is I learned from a very young age,
Don't throw things out your window.
well, keep an eye on your cat.
That too.
And don't let it out unless you have proper ways about it. I knew she wasn't fixed, but I was in like 4th grade at this time, 5th grade, so I didn't really comprehend much. But so that's why we're doing this, to help other parents who have children. Cats are forever. They're not just for a season. They're not for a cute gift. They're forever.
They do last for a long time. That is true. My grandmother, and I know she's listening to this episode, so hi, Nana. Anyway, I got a cat. I was able to get this cat. It was about 1998. Go figure this. I ended up getting this rambunctious cat. Paws is her name. She's still going strong right now. I guess she has tamed a lot. She was very feral in her personality. Definitely had that outdoors, leave me alone, don't pet me, hiss, bite, growl,
She
scratch.
was also declawed,
Yeah, front to
which
claws.
that doesn't help the temperament of cats
She
either.
wasn't any better before that. Not at all. She was a feisty little one. But, obviously I've had the cats over my life. I have more cat experience than dog experience, so...
And I'm the other way around.
Yeah, so maybe we're the yin and yang in this episode here. So let's start off, since we want to sanction everything into certain areas, let's start with the simple fact of spay and neutering.
Right.
Since we fostered cats a few years back, Sancho really was a good lesson for us.
Because of Sancho, we had to replace carpet.
Yeah,
We had to replace flooring
yep.
because the people who the people who had to give up the cats. It was Sancho, Tiggy, and Rex.
Tiggy was a great cat.
Sancho was abandoned in September. We fostered Sancho because he was a pure black cat. And in
yeah.
California, PetSmarts will not adopt out black cats during the month of September, October, and November.
Right.
Because of the sole fact that there are people out there that use them as sacrifices.
Right.
All right? Demonic stuff out there.
And this is a great lesson for all of you who have black cats who, during these months, actually let your cat still go out, whether they're fixed or not, but just so you know, during those months, I'd keep my cat inside for this reason.
Exactly. Especially at nighttime.
Yeah.
But who's to say they're not going to catch them during the daytime and do their sacrificing at night?
Right. And a sacrifice
so-
doesn't have to be done at night.
So their cat den was full. We decided to foster Sancho. Well, the fostering took a little bit longer than we expected, and he became a full male.
And it felt like it was overnight.
It really did.
Yeah.
And then we came home one day, and we didn't understand where the smell was coming from.
Funkiest smell you could ever imagine.
And coming from two people that never had male cats, we didn't know what was going on.
Still don't. First and only for me.
So we come to find out that he sprayed in our hallway.
And on our couch.
And on our couch that we had to throw away.
And I think it was on our bedspread at some point.
Yeah, and then we had to throw away the box spring and the comforter and the skirt.
A lot of stuff went to trash because of this one.
Because there's hardly any way of getting out male markings urine.
Yeah.
So males, get them spayed as soon or fixed as soon as possible. Get them neutered so they don't go into that dominant, I'm going to spray to mark my territory business. And females, man, our one female, it's the only female cat I've ever known. Callie, she's our cat that was born on Chris's leg.
Yeah, Mama Kitty decided 3 years ago that I'm pregnant, of course. We already knew that. Decided that she wanted to break her water on my lap and then proceed to have all of her cats on my lap as well. Those genes were thrown away, by the way.
And we didn't allow her to get pregnant. She was already pregnant when we moved into the house that we're at. She came with the house.
Yeah.
The previous owners of the house left her there.
And she was a kitten at the time as well. She was
very young.
She was under a year at that point.
Or about a year.
Or
yeah.
about a year. Yeah, I'd say she's about a year older than Callie.
So Mama Kitty was adopted. We found homes for the other cats. We kept Callie. Because all calico cats are all females.
Yeah.
Whether they're long hair, short hair, or whatnot, they're all females. And since we already had a female cat, another female cat.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be kind of weird, and we weren't going to have to worry about any kind of, funny business going on.
Exactly. We didn't need more cats, and we want to stop that cycle. But Callie, when she became of age, and she went to heat, the worst noises ever. Oh.
I would let a banshee come into the house and scream, and it would probably be more music to the ears than what that cat could do. And of course, cats don't really do it during the daytime. Being nocturnal, they like to wait until night, and then in 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're just like, what just died?
I don't know how many times this kind of frustrates me. I go outside for, get outside, I guess.
Take the dogs for a walk.
Yeah, let the dogs go to the bathroom. And it's, a little bit late at night.
It could be 7 or 8 o'clock.
Well, most of the time it's pretty late for me when I hear it.
Really? Okay.
And, you hear just an echoing of this horrible meowing where they're calling a mate.
Yep.
They're letting the males know, hey, I'm ready.
Yep.
Come get me. And it's just annoys me because I know that cat's going to get pregnant. And then that's that many cats.
And that's what populates the feral cat system.
And did you know that one cat can be impregnated by multiple males?
I always thought that was the strangest thing.
Yeah.
That is the strangest. So, of course, it leads us to the question of why should we spay or neuter our cats? Well, I think we just gave quite a few reasons.
Because sometimes cats escape from your house.
Oh yeah, it's going to happen. Make sure, again, if you reference back to another episode where we talk about tagging your pets with a collar, of course, Sarah makes a great point about the breakaway tags.
Well, yeah, the cats need breakaway collars. Cats can hang themselves when they get up in the tree. So the breakaway collar is where they get snagged on something, the weight of the cat will bust it open. So the cat doesn't get choked to death. Dogs are a little more resilient. They got stronger necks, and they're least likely to get into trees.
Yeah, I don't really see a lot of dogs being stuck in a tree, firemen taking a dog down. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I've seen a pit bull scale a tree a little bit.
Interesting.
That was kind of fun.
That would be actually interesting. But since we're on an all cat episode, let's
Anywho.
yeah. So, obviously there's that reason.
There's so many cats that are put down. There's more cats than dogs that are put down.
You're right. And that is
They're
very
euthanized. The more cat population, the more disease runs rampant. It's the same thing like with deer hunting. They issue out permits for deers because if there's too many deer in one area, disease spreads.
true. Right.
So they keep the population at a normal level, so less disease.
Right.
And people get to eat. Well, unfortunately, cats, you don't eat cats.
Well, not in this country.
Yeah, we don't eat cats here. So fortunately for the kitties, but the cats are euthanized anyways, and their bodies are just left to the side and burned, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a really sad situation. And I did some research on this because I was a little curious. How old should a cat be before it gets spayed or neutered? And it was actually kind of interesting. It says as early as 8 weeks. So honestly, around the 7-week mark, if you have a kitten and you want to get it spayed or neutered, depending on the gender, obviously, definitely call your vet. Find out exactly what their appropriation is to it, how old they actually feel is appropriate, and definitely get them set and do it early because it's a lot less traumatizing.
Yeah, it is. And then they don't get into the tendencies of other cats too.
Yeah.
They don't get the territorial, they don't get vicious. It can lean either way. It's just best to get them done younger than later. Now, if you can't afford the full amount for the spade or neuter, contact your local welfare league. Contact your animal shelter.
Yeah.
Find a rescue in the area. See if anybody will help. Google, search.
Google. Do you hear that, Mom? Google. My famous words to my mom. Actually, I have some great information brought by Kim with the call. If you are locally here in Missouri, there is an organization called Project Every Pet, and it's in Bland, Missouri. For feral cats, it was $25, $5 for the rabies, and it's definitely something to look into.
I think it was $25 for any animal.
Was it any animal?
And feral cats were for free.
Okay, I might have been reading this incorrectly. But if you are locally here in Missouri, definitely look into it. I will give P-Call's number out because if you know of anything, maybe you want to actually give them a call or look them up on Facebook.
Get a little more information that we're not saying right now.
Yeah, because we may not have all the information. They have a great deal of information. So if you actually want to contact the P-Call locally here in Missouri, you can give them a call at area code 573-426-4043. Again, that's 573 area code 426-4043.
And if you feel a tug at your heart and you want to donate to them, call them and see how we can do that and see what would be easiest. And you never know, you might be able to do something.
Yeah, and of course, there's many ways you can help. Of course, always donations are needed. Funding is very low on every organization, so you definitely want to try to help out as much as possible, and of course, pass this information around.
Yeah, you might have friends or family in Missouri that this might help too.
Yeah, it really could. And Kim, for example, she goes out, she traps a lot of the feral cats, takes them in to get spayed or neutered. She does a lot of work, and it's just one of those things. And it brings me to the whole point to our next topic, which is FIV. And a lot of feral cats would probably carry this disease. And for all of you who do not know what FIV is, it's feline immunodeficiency virus.
It's HIV for cats.
Yes, I just wanted to be more technical with the terminology. And plus, I honestly didn't know what it was until I Googled it.
You didn't know what it was until I said it to you.
That is very true. I will not lie. I will go on record, and this will stand the test of time. I did not know what FIV was. So, honestly, I learned a new thing. And of course, remember, with feral cats, these cats could get bit by all kinds of different animals, carry rabies, carry all kinds of diseases. By stopping the cycle, you're honestly stopping, epidemics that could, plague areas.
Yep.
So let's go into FIV.
FIV it is very contagious. It can spread by bites, litter boxes. I know it can be transferred from mother to kittens. It's not pretty, but I know there have been a few people who have adopted FIV cats, and they need to know, and they told me actually, that these cats need to be a single cat and single animal home. I don't think FIV can be transferred to dogs, but as for cats, they need to be the only cat in the house. It is just a better idea. I mean, you might be able to have another cat in the house,
Well,
but I don't suggest it.
it actually says that the primary mode of transportation for FIV to actually be administered from another cat is through a bite wounds. So if it bites, or even I would even go as far as saying maybe even a scratch could even transmit this. So I would not have an FIV cat with another cat because
Well, you'd have to look at it as HIV.
yeah, you really
you know,
do.
How people contract HIV can be the same way cats can contract FIV. It takes a special kind of person to adopt and give a life to this cat that needs love, that is no different than any other cat, just can't be around other cats.
Right.
It's definitely important to try to find out.
And of course, use your famous website called Google for everything.
Exactly, and you can find out where you can go to get tested. So you can
Get your cat tested.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
No problem. I just want to make sure people don't think that you can catch it. Humans are not susceptible to FIV, but still, you want to make sure you know where to get your cat tested.
Exactly. As far as symptoms go, did you
You know,
find out?
I didn't see anything on symptoms. I just got a little bit of information on it. It just says FIV infected cats are found worldwide, but the infection varies greatly in the U.S. Approximately 1.5 to 3% of healthy cats are infected with FIV. Rates rise significantly, 15% or more in cats that are sick or at high risk of infection, because biting is the most efficient means of viral transmission. Free-roaming, aggressive male cats are the most frequently infected, while cats housed exclusively indoors are much less likely to be infected.
Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Sorry if that sounded scripted, but I wanted you to actually hear it from an actual terminology. I didn't want to actually say things so I sounded stupid. She picks on me, folks. Feel bad for me.
Hey, you got to go home early today, so
I
get to
groomed
pick
I
on
groomed my fair share today.
you. Hey.
Anyways, so with FIV, it's definitely one of those things that you wanna look out for. If you have cats that do go outside, your cat is highly at risk. And one thing I haven't mentioned is last year I was overseas. I saw cats over there that just were absolutely grotesque. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have FIV and God only knows what else. I even sent pictures of them to Sarah. They didn't even look like cats.
Oh man, you can tell the mange was running rampant through them. Oh, it's terrible.
And it was out there. They would just gather up all of these cats, and it was not the kind of country that really gives a darn. And it was just almost kind of sweep them underneath the rug and burn them at one point. So my biggest thing is I really want to avoid that being part of our country. It's bad enough we already have enough feral cats that are running around. We have a lot of abandoned cats that have just been dumped for any reasons. I mean, we can have a reason as much as the cat pooped on the couch, get rid of the cat. And, you know, obviously, folks, if you can't handle the cat, just please, and this is for everybody, if you can't handle it, just take it to the shelter. Unfortunately, shelters are overwhelmed with cats. There are more cats than anything else, it seems like.
You have better luck going to a rescue and seeing what the rescue can do. If you decide to find it a home by yourself with no help,
Do some
Glenda.
Oh, okay.
Glenda from Peacaw told us, or I was like, Glenda
Yeah,
or Kim?
it was Glenda.
Okay. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm getting you guys confused. But they said so many people say, you know, free to a good home.
You like,
That's
especially
not-
on Craigslist?
Yeah, that's not good enough. You need to go and get references or go and see where the cat's going to be living. Make sure it's a good home. You know, that they're not just trying to take this cat for snake food or some other sick desire.
Yeah, because you don't really think about it, but when you're, adopting out kittens, you don't realize this, but that kitten could be food for a snake.
Yep.
And that does not cross a lot of people's minds. Honestly, I'm not going to say that I thought this myself. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was Kim who mentioned that one. Could have been Glenda. Again, I'm so sorry that we can't remember that, who told us this. But one of the two of these ladies actually told us this, and I never even thought about it. It actually blew my mind thinking about it. And of course, then if you always have abuse, neglect.
Yeah, there's some sick, twisted people out there.
Yeah, and Craigslist, I've always advised my mom, I've stayed away from it, but I've never really been a big fan of it. Seems like that's where you really find a lot of the problems. So
A lot
please,
of freaks.
yes, try to stay away from there because that seems to be where they're all gravitating to. All right, so since we've covered FIV, did you want to add anything on that?
No, I think we're okay. Make sure your cat has rabies shots.
Yeah, definitely.
If they get out by accident and they go toe to toe with a raccoon, armadillo.
You can tell the Missouri's coming out in her tonight,
Oh,
folks.
stop. Anywho,
This is the California girl who has drank the Kool-Aid.
hey,
All right. I pick on her all the time. It's my joy in life. Hey, she picked on me earlier. You all heard it.
Mr. Restaurant Guy.
Yeah, well, I fixed that, okay? So, anyways, like she was saying, armadillos, probably not as much, but they do scratch and they do bite.
They
So,
bite.
yeah, that is a good point.
they're
Raccoons.
And they don't die.
Yeah, well, no, there have been some cars who have won that war, but the war was won on both sides. All right, so let's move on to the next subject. And this one actually was something I had to do a lot of research on. It was brought to me by somebody else.
Yeah, it was a completely new idea. When Chris mentioned it, I was like, whoa, that's kind of nifty. But why don't you explain to us what a catio is?
A catio. A catio is a place to put your cat. It's to
Really?
convert. Yes, thank you. Take your patio, your pre-existing patio, and convert it into a catio. Now, there's many ways that you can actually do this, and there's many reasons why this is a great idea. I thought about it. Unfortunately, we don't have a patio, so we're kind of stuck. For any of you who live in apartments who have an outside patio, this would work for you. None of our apartments ever had one, unfortunately. So a catio is simply an area you can put your cat on your patio, partitioned by netting. There's multiple different kinds of netting. Local hardware store should be able to accommodate any of these things.
One thing I do want to interject, make sure your cat's nails stay trimmed,
Yes.
because I can see that being ripped.
Well, see, I thought the same thing. There are actual netting that is specifically claw. It works to against claws. I'm sorry. I don't exactly know exactly the terminology for it. I am sorry. But I'm sure some of you are yelling at your computer, your iPhone, or whatever device you're listening to this and saying, it's this. Well, I unfortunately, I can't hear you.
Please don't judge us harshly.
Yeah, but there are netting that actually, a cat can claw at it and it will not break. It will not tear. But what the benefit of having a catio is, you can put your cat's toys outside. You can put your cat's bed outside. And I'm not saying during the winter, please. Please, no email saying I'm not doing this during the winter. No, not during the winter. More of the springtime when it's warming up. Not this spring. We already have snow on a day that's...
It's snowing right now.
It is snowing. It's the second day of spring and we have snow. Go figure, folks. Okay, that's the ADD kicking in. So on a day where it's nice and warm, you can put your cat bed out there, cat toys out there. And what this will do is it gives your cat the opportunity to be outside, to hear the birds, to almost in a sense interact with the birds without jumping out of the patio and ripping their little bodies apart.
Exactly. I know Mama Kitty loves it when we leave the door open and the screen door is shut. She gets up there and she starts chirping along with the birds.
Yes.
I mean, it's the cutest. Meow, 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 meow. And she's just watching. She's not trying to attack them. She's not clawing up the screen. She's just looking at him and piercing with those beautiful blue eyes of hers and chirping towards him.
And a lot of cats, just being in the environment is good enough for them. They would love, of course, to go and have a meal and bring the rest to their master and say, this is my gift to you, of course.
Love me, I brought you some intestines.
I brought you the carcass. I might have ate part of it. So, it's of course nature, but putting them outside like that, where they're in a secure environment, that is the greatest idea possible. And whoever came up with the term catio, I have to give you one thing. You came up with a great term.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there. It was absolutely a great idea. So, if you have a little patio you can partition off, this would be a great idea. Even if you only do part of it,
well,
it will
if
work.
you do the whole patio, you're able to screen it off where it's big enough for you to have a chair in there and you can hang out with your cat.
Oh, yeah.
In the nice sun that's
Reading
not blistering hot. You can be reading a book.
Read the paper. Even
Sip on some tea.
Do people even read the paper anymore?
I don't know.
I think most of the stuff we just talked about is almost obsolete. A book, if you're not off
Your iPad or
exactly
your Kindle.
yeah,
or
we all have devices to read books off of. I don't pick up paper
you
anymore.
catch my drift.
I do. I just wanted to point that out, Professor. Anyways, so a catio idea. If you are interested in this, there's many different ideas online. You can definitely Google it. Again, I use the term, please Google. I almost think I actually should get paid royalties every time I say it.
Or tattooed on your forehead.
If they'd pay me, I would.
All you gotta do is point to your forehead.
I would. If they paid me, and this is for anybody who's with Google, I'll tattoo a part of my body if you pay me. So, well,
Awkward.
well, of course.
Anywho, let's move on.
Let's go on. All
What
right.
else?
So, of course, like I had said at the beginning, this will be an extra long episode. We are actually at the end of our normal routine time, but we are going to keep going on to our last chapter. And our last chapter is grooming. Now,
I'm always last.
She's playing the sympathy card, folks. Please email us at thegroomernextdoor@yahoo.com and just tell her how poor and sad her existence is, because that's what she wants to hear, everybody. Please feel bad for her. All right, so anyways, grooming. Now, I have never had the luxury of grooming a cat, so I really don't have much to say on this except for OMG.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
This isn't Abu Dhabi. You actually have a right to talk, honey.
I'm sorry, we're a little loopy. We had a long day at work.
And of course, I know that you guys, I've heard it already in the past, you guys enjoy it because we're not, reading off of a script and we're not stiff. This is an interactive thing. You obviously know we work together, we have a daughter, that our life is crazy.
I'm actually playing with a McDonald's toy. It's Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
Hey, this is the best toy I've seen.
That's pretty cool.
This is the best toy I've seen at McDonald's in a while.
But why is he flipping patties and not SpongeBob?
He's actually using it as a sword, but that's not part of the show. We're ADD in again, honey.
Oh,
So again,
yes, cat
grooming.
Cat grooming takes a lot of cojones. At first, when I saw my manager groom a cat.
For those of you who don't speak Spanish, cojones means guts. Let's just go with that, okay?
Yeah, guts. There
Yeah,
you
let's go with that.
Cojones.
If any children are listening, that just means guts, and please don't use that word.
My boss was shaving down this cat, and I was very upset. Like, why would you shave a cat? That just seems wrong. It's like taking a Kita and shaving it down. It's gotta be wrong.
You only think when you first start out, you think that people who shave cats, it's malicious.
Right. And in all actuality, it's necessity for certain cats. I don't suggest shaving down every cat. I don't think I think it's pointless. They need their fur for certain reasons. But a lot of the cats I get in to shave end up having really bad mats because their cats have gotten older, can't exactly reach certain spots of the body to clean themselves and use their tongue to kind of, brush themselves out and get the hair out, the loose hair out. So they end up getting big, huge mats on the sides or on the top or the armpits or around the tail. I see that come in. I close my eyes, I bow my head, and I pray, Lord, please let me keep my fingers.
Yeah, cats can be very, very vicious when they want to be.
I'm so glad my tetanus is up to date.
So let's start with grooming tips, since this is a grooming show. How can we prevent mats on a cat? On a cat
is similar to a dog, just not as harsh. You don't want to press as hard. You still want to use like a slicker brush. It's a good brush. You want a soft slicker. You don't want a firm slicker or a hard slicker. A comb, a regular comb can help, especially for a kitty that can't groom themselves very well. Just sit there for a couple minutes and do it. If it's our cats, we gotta sit on them.
Well, actually, Mama Kitty will allow it. Callie, not so much. And my grandmother's cat, which was mine, Paws, I referenced earlier, not a chance.
So, I understand cats can be a little touchy. The more you handle them, the better off they'll be at a groomer. When I groom cats, I give two prices. One price is about $50, and that's for just the shave, ear cleaning, nails trimming. The second price is $60, and that's with a bath. So the best way to prevent your cat going through stress is to keep up the brushing at home. Now, if it just comes to the point where you can't do it or your cat won't let you, you might need to sedate your cat with a sedative, not a tranquilizer. Just something to take the edge off. Talk to your vet and talk to your groomer.
Yeah, it's always definitely talk to your vet first. We always say that. Talk to your vet first.
When I first started grooming, they wouldn't allow us to do any sedated dogs. No sedated cats. Well, with experienced folks, you can groom animals with sedation. I groom at least 1 or 2 dogs a month. They're sedated. And every other cat that I groom is sedated. Now, it's not me asking the folks to sedate their cats, is that they do it anyways because they've had bad experiences in the past.
And a lot of your cat owners who have these hyperactive cats, they know that their cats can be
a little testy.
Yeah.
They know. And most people are pretty adamant to let the groomer know. Be as honest as you can with your groomer. Just like if you have a dog, be as honest as you can with them. Because they're people too, if they lose a finger because you didn't want to mention something because you're scared, that's on you.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, they bring their animal in and, I tell them, hey, just want to let you know, your dog's very aggressive for the feet. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned that. Yeah,
I would like to actually interject here. Sarah does that to me almost on a daily basis.
Oh, shush.
She does. I'll say, oh, did you know? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you.
Oh yeah, it's written on the card. Look at that right there.
Yeah, I didn't read the card. I only read the instructions. So go ahead.
Love you.
Exactly. And she's the victim, folks. Go on.
Bye. So, when you get your cat groomed and you can't do it yourself any longer, every groomer is going to have to trim the cat's nails, no matter what. I understand it's the first line of defense, and even if the cat's outside, the nails need to be trimmed. I personally will never groom a cat without getting the nails trimmed first. One quick swat, and you get cat scratch fever. You get it hurts. You get infected. So nails have to be trimmed every time the cat gets groomed, unless the groomer has some kind of special vet wrap that wrap their feet up.
And of course, you know, anytime you do a cat's nails, you always run the risk of being bit.
Uh-huh.
And that's definitely a very big deal. Of course, a cat bite is just like a dog bite. And
Some cats don't let go, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I know my one manager, she got bit once. I had many managers when I first started. They couldn't keep one in the shop. But my original manager who did cats, she stopped doing cats because she got bit. And it took 2 people with 2 pens to stick inside the cat's mouth to pry the mouth off a groomer's arm.
Can you only imagine that? It just crushes my mind to think of a cat clamping down.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
And my grandmother, I mean, I've told Sarah the story, but I haven't mentioned it to anybody out there, out in the listening world. My grandmother was bit, and you know, Paws isn't really the nicest cat, but she's not looking to hurt anybody. But when she bit my grandmother, the animal control actually put Paws on the bite list. And one more time, if it goes down, she is going to be euthanized.
Yeah.
So, and this same thing will happen, I'm pretty sure, on a lot of grooming salons out there. So be prepared.
Yeah, some grooming salons are required by state or by the corporation to report it. The first store I worked at, we had to report all bites to the Humane Society. After so many bites, the dog or the cat gets put down without permission. It doesn't matter. They will go to your home and seize your animal.
I think they quarantine it for a little bit, and then...
Yeah, they quarantine it, test it to make sure it's not carrying any
Yeah.
kind of disease, and then they euthanize it.
Yeah.
So it's extremely important for all those who have dogs. I know it was all cat episode, but this is very important too. For those who have dogs that are aggressive, get that under control, because if they bite too many times and it's reported, they will come to your house and they will force you to hand over that dog, and they will kill it.
And there's no way around that. You cannot talk them out of it. There is that rule. There's an ordinance in every state, every town.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely read your ordinances in your town. I mean, a lot of people don't do it.
Right. But there's other ways. A good cat groomer knows how to manipulate the cat's body in order to get certain things shaved. One thing I want people to be aware of is that cat's skin is so thin. Don't ever take scissors to it. Don't ever think, hey, I'm a groomer, I can groom, I can pick up a pair of clippers and I can cut the cat. You don't know how many times people at home think, oh, I'll save some money and cut it myself. They come in with gashes. I've seen some gnarly gashes on the cat before because people thought they can take it into their own hands. Groomers, when they're shaving, this can happen, and I've seen this happen quite a bit through other groomers too. Nicking your cat. Since the skin is so thin, the nicking, especially in the belly area around the nipples, is very high. So please don't get too mad at your groomer for that. You know, they should have been brushed out anyways. So, and you know, the cat being mad isn't their fault in the first place. But if they do get nicked, see how apologetic the groomer is. If they actually feel bad, like I do.
Well, let's start with the typical here. If the actual groomer tells you straightforward that what happened, that's a good sign that they care. If they don't tell you, and this is not only, excuse me, this is not only for cats, this is for any animal you take to the groomer. If your groomer doesn't immediately tell you of a nick, a scratch, whatever, then there's a problem. They're hiding something. And that is a very big problem.
Right.
And that's another reason why we do this whole thing. Point out these flaws so that these particular groomers stop grooming.
Yeah. so they get their stuff checked.
Yep.
You know, they stay on point. Let's see, getting the cat's ears cleaned out is really important too. The less debris in the ear canal, the less likely they are to get infections. And the better cat food you feed them, the less likely you are to get hairballs from the cats cleaning themselves, less shedding, and less ear infections. Brush your cat's tail. Tails always get matted. I don't know how many
cats
times.
actually don't mind their tail brushed. Cats
Some
actually
don't.
Well, that's true. I mean, I've in my experience, and I've always seen it. Cats actually have enjoyed their tail pet. Don't pull on it, people. I obviously don't grab the base of it and squeeze it. You know how you hold it and how you do things with their tail. That'll definitely be how everything goes. The catalyst of it all. If you grab their tail and pull, they're gonna try to get away. You squeeze the base of their tail, that cuts off the blood flow. It hurts.
And you can squeeze their anal glands, because yes, cats have anal glands.
Here we go again. We're back to the anal glands.
You make your cat mad, they will express their glands. And trust me, folks, it stinks just as bad as dogs.
Well, anything that comes out of there is going to stink.
It's like the honey badger.
Yeah, the
Like
honey
kills
badger.
bees.
That was a great thing. We were watching Animal Channel. It's another story, of course, but
They're
boy.
kind of like cats, right?
Oh, they look like cats. Yeah, right.
It
Okay.
kind of looks like Pepe Le Pew.
It looks like Pepe Le Pew and a cat mixed together. Yeah. Honey badger. Wow. Why aren't the mascot honey badgers instead of this roadrunner? And
Those are badass.
they really are. Again, I think we're on ADD kick tonight. We are completely off topic a lot in our own world. So, those are the grooming tips on cats. Anything else you want to add to that?
Don't ever
Let me add in ever.
cut cats' whiskers.
Oh, yeah.
You can kill them. You're not going to kill them by you cut a whisker. It's going to send, their heart racing, heart attack. It's the cat's whiskers grow out wide enough of their body can fit through. So if they see a hole they're trying to get through and their whiskers touch either end, they won't go through it because they know their body will get stuck. If you shave those whiskers off or you cut them, at any length you cut them, they can get stuck in something and they can die. So don't cut the whiskers.
Oh, but it just looks so shabby. I need to cut them. It just looks so shabby.
No.
Yeah, and
No.
honestly, folks, that is something that I have heard in the past, and this is years ago, is the cat's whiskers look so shabby. I need to cut them.
They're so long and
Yeah.
they're so prickly.
And it just look everywhere. It looks so
They're
sloppy.
not so pretty because it grows part white, part black.
And it's just everywhere. It's, people shave their mustaches and trim them. You got to do the same. No, you don't. I'm going to stop everybody. No. Let it look shabby. It's there for a reason, folks. It's like eyes on your head are there for a reason. Don't cut them. Okay, so I think we've kind of covered our cat episode with a side of ADD.
I'm trying to think. See, I wish I had more knowledge of cats like I do dogs.
Again,
I've groomed several cats. I've shaved many cats, but
to pretty much recap, have your cat spayed or neutered. Let's start with that. I mean, Bob Barker talked about it for decades. I'm not trying to reference The Price is Right here. But yes, have your cat spayed or neutered. That is the most important thing. Feral cats, or even if you think they're neighborhood cats, please, folks, please do not feed them. I know you're thinking that feeding this cat is doing them a service. You're not. I just read the other day in Indianapolis, if you feed a cat, stray, feral, or home cat that's just wandering the neighborhood, whatnot, if I'm not mistaken, I hope I don't do this story injustice, but you are actually required by law to actually trap the cat and take it in to get spayed or neutered. Indianapolis, I got to give them that one. That's a darn good thing.
See, one of my bosses I used to work for, she did the same thing. She fed cats. All the neighborhood cats. She didn't care who the cat belonged to. She trapped it, took it to the vet and got spayed or neutered. She didn't care who it belonged to. You know, if you're gonna have an animal run loose, they better be fixed, because you're just adding to the sorrow and the heartbreak of all these cats being euthanized.
Well, we all see it, and I referenced it earlier. The children from Africa, South America, all these children that don't have food, and we all feel bad for them. And we see it all the time with the ASPC commercial with the animals that have been, hurt or whatever. Obviously the situation is very simple. Don't continue the cycle. If we have hungry cats out on the streets, it's not going to help the situation. By feeding them, you're only going to make it worse. I know it sounds like I'm actually adding more of a conflict by saying don't feed these animals, they're hungry, and don't feed them. I understand your compassion. Bless you. I understand your compassion, but it's hurting the actual situation.
Yeah, and if you do feed them, touch them.
Yeah.
Call your shelter, call a rescue, call some kind of animal organization, and find out what you can do about getting them fixed, because you don't have the money for it. Use it as part of your community service.
If you take it out of your tithing.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Sorry, I didn't know you were going to hit that one.
If you're the Christian folk and you go to church and you do your monthly tithing or your weekly tithing, this can be part of it. These are God's creatures.
Yep.
That need to be helped.
It's just, what can you do? What can you do to help your community? And this is one of them. All right, folks. Well, it's almost we've hit the 52-minute mark. I know that probably some of you are saying, "Oh God, this episode will never end." We just want to make sure we did a good service on cats.
Hey, there's people that do 2-hour podcasts.
There are. Remember, I listen to podcasts. This is how I've been able to actually develop a show myself. So there are 2-hour shows. There's a lot of these things out there, but you don't have to sit down and listen to the whole episode all at once. If you can, sporadically go through. You must not. Don't listen to her.
You must. You gotta listen to it all.
Don't listen to her. She's just
listening.
that way. All right. Well, again, it has been a pleasure being able to give a good episode. We hope it has, because I hope that people like it. Of course, you can always find us. You can find me, Christopher Green. You can see the show. Album art is my face picture. You can easily friend me. You can Facebook message me. You can send us an email at thegroomernextdoor@yahoo.com. Anything you want to get in touch with us, feel free. Again, if anybody locally would like to get in touch with the Phelps County Animal Welfare League, you can do so by calling 573-426-4043. Again, this Friday we'll be meeting with Rolla Police Department and their K9 unit, and I think we actually have 2 officers who we'll be able to talk to. One will be with the K9 unit, one will be with a different unit,
and that episode will probably run long as well.
It probably will. I can't say that I'm not doing this because I'm a fan, because I am a fan, and I just absolutely am amazed by what these guys do on a daily basis. So it's kind of advertisement to the next episode. After that, I think I have nothing else.
I think I'm good to go.
All right. Well, I'm Chris Green. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Have a pup-tastic week.
I'm Sarah Green. Just want to make sure everybody knows life is short. Play with your pet.
Bye, everybody.